Hey, so I thought I'd actually try and do a reading vlog. I say actually try, I do always try and I always end up deleting footage, and as I always say at the start of recording these, if you guys see this it will be a miracle, because I just get too lazy and I forget to film, and also my camera's super heavy. So we're gonna try it because it's a bank holiday weekend. I don't have many plans. It's now like Saturday early afternoon and I don't usually get any reading done in the morning, so this is completely normal. I haven't read anything yet. I always have a lie-in on a Saturday, then have a really like long shower, get ready, take a while to get ready, go into the city, get some nice food and snacks for the weekend, have lunch quite late, like 2:30, while I watch YouTube, and now we're here. So yeah, I am now trying to decide which books I want to read, but I thought I'd just start doing a reading vlog so I can check in with you over the next few days and see how we go. So I'm going to show you now the stack of books I'm choosing between and the snacks I have for the next few days, and then later you'll see which books I actually chose. Okay, so this is what I have. So let's show you the snacks first. In this little packet I have half of the new vegan cookies from Pret A Manger. They're like dark chocolate and almond butter. They are amazing. Johnny had half, so I have the other half. And then I picked up a few bits of chocolate from Hotel Chocolat, which I haven't eaten from since I've gone vegan. So these are the hazelnut and ginger dark chocolate chunk things. This is a dark chocolate praline slice thing, and these are some dark chocolate chocolate drops. And then I have some cherry sweets from M&S and some American hard gums from M&S. Loads of their sweets, which are suitable for vegetarians and not suitable for vegans, which I find incredibly frustrating, and also just seems like quite annoying marketing that we're like, oh, these are all vegetarian, but yeah, they've all got beeswax and stuff like that in, so annoying. So those ones are fine anyway. So this is all the books I'm choosing between. So I'm definitely going to read Franklin and Luna Go to the Moon, because it arrived in the post a few weeks ago and I've been trying to find the right time to sit and just indulge in it. So I'm very excited about that, and it looks beautiful. And then this is the giant stack of books that I just pulled off my shelf, and this is why I don't read as much as I should, because as I've said to you guys before, I spend way too much time choosing what I'm going to read. So I just went through the whole stack with Johnny. He said I should just flip a coin or just like choose randomly. I'm no good at that, but he did say out of the very tiny description I gave of all of them that I should read this one definitely, because it's the only short story collection I chose and I've wanted to read it for ages. It's in my 5-star TBR predictions. It's like fabulous short stories, and I haven't read anything like that in ages. So yeah, there's a lot. I do feel like reading something chunky, so the two at the bottom could work. Then I've got quite a few non-fiction, so I'm definitely going to pick up at least one of those. And then I'm in the mood to read something either a bit like historical or something that's set somewhere a bit cold, because it's cooler here. So like, well, it's going to be 16 degrees for the next few days, which is pretty cool for August, which I'm very happy about. I've actually got socks on. So yeah, we shall see which ones I go for. So what I probably am going to do is like read the first couple of pages of each and just see which ones draw me in, and then just force myself to choose really quickly. I'm not going to let myself take any more than like half an hour to do this, because if not, it'll just be indefinite and we'll get to midnight and I won't have chosen anything. So yeah, I'll check in with you guys in a bit once I've started actually reading something. Hey guys, it's like 6 o'clock now. How well have I done? So I read Franklin and Luna Go to the Moon and I loved it. It is so, so pretty. I'm going to insert a picture of my favourite page here. I'm a lover of lists and different types of magical creatures, and I love this page now, but I know I would have adored it even more when I was a child. So yeah, shout out to the beautiful words and pictures from both Jen and Katie. So yeah, there's that one. So then I also read Woman and Power by Mary Beard, and to be honest, didn't really enjoy it. I guess rather stupidly, I didn't realise how much the essays were going to be linked to like the ancient Greeks and things like that. I just didn't realise she was going to be tying it so much back to that. I thought it would be much more a commentary on modern times, which it was, but with just an awful lot of throwback, which isn't really an area of interest for me. So didn't love that, but I have finished that now and still haven't started reading an actual novel. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to start reading The Electric Michelangelo by Sarah Hall because I've read a couple of her books and adored them, and I really fancy some historical fiction, and that one is. But I'm going to take a break now and make dinner quickly. I'm not very good at making stuff. This is like from a kit. And then I'm going to watch a couple of episodes, maybe just one episode of Unforgotten, which is, I don't know, a British drama. I was going to say BBC, I don't know if it is BBC. Sorry, my hands are aching, this is really heavy. So I'll watch an episode of that, and then I'll probably do some reading, and then I think Johnny and I are going to watch a horror film later. So yeah, but I will check in with you. I'm going to make burritos for dinner. I just use an old El Paso box because I'm rubbish, and I use a vegan mince, and then I add like different kidney beans and different beans to it, and peppers and onions, and then we have it with Mexican rice, which is from a pack, and onion rings and salad. So tasty. Takes about 15 minutes because I don't do anything that takes too long because I'm lazy. So yeah, I'll check back in with you guys in a bit. Hey, so this is a bit poorly lit, a bit of a weird angle, but it's about 9 o'clock and it's quite difficult to find good lighting in my flat at this time because we have those weird cage light ceiling lights, like they're like wire, so the bulbs are open, so they have to be really dimly lit yellow bulbs. Therefore my flat isn't like the brightest place to be, so I've instead sat on the floor in my shelves with an actual floor lamp aimed directly at me, hence the glare. So yeah, I have a cup of tea, and I'm a lover of really pretty mugs, and this is a super ugly mug, but it's so comfortable to hold. And whilst I want to give in to all these wonderful like collections of all unmatching but beautiful mugs, I also don't want to give up the comfort of these mugs. I have one at work and one at home, and I just always make sure this mug is washed up, so like buying more mugs seems silly if I'm only ever going to use this one. Anyway, this isn't about mugs. So had dinner, watched Unforgotten, been sort of milling around on YouTube, or I don't really know what I've been doing. The time has gone. I don't ever know where time goes on a day where you don't like do much. I just feel like 3 hours pass and you feel like only half an hour should have done. So anyway, I decided to start reading The Electric Michelangelo, and I've got to page 45 and I'm really enjoying this. I think she has a wonderful way with words. So this is the third book by Sarah Hall I've read. I read Wolf Border and Madame Zero last year and loved them both, and sort of had in mind that she could be one of my favourite authors, so then picked up, oh actually I've read 3, I've read The Carhillan Army as well this year, which isn't great, but it's sort of recognised as not being one of her best. It has quite low ratings, still beautifully written but just a bit lacking in development or real plot. This one feels quite different. So this is set in the early 1900s, and it starts out in Morecambe Bay, which is a place near the Lake District, and it's a seaside resort. At the time was quite a popular seaside resort for people who lived in the north of England and Scotland. And we're following a young boy who is growing up with his mother after his father died in a storm at sea, and his mother runs a hotel, but she mainly takes in consumptives, so people who are dying of tuberculosis, and she's very sort of compassionate and looks after these people, you know, until their last moments. And at the moment it's the story of his childhood there, but I feel some sort of building tension, and I know from the blurb that the story is mainly about the fact that he crosses the ocean and goes to live on Coney Island. And it says, in this carnival environment of roller coasters and freak shows, Cy falls in love with Grace, a mysterious circus performer who commissions him to tattoo her body, which sounds amazing. And I love the fact that it's set on 2 seaside resorts, one in England and one in the US, so I feel like that's going to be quite an interesting contrast. Her writing is beautiful, but I feel like some people just wouldn't like it. It's really descriptive and wordy. There's lots of really long run-on sentences. I've already had to look up 2 words, as I said, I'm on page 45, and I'm fairly confident, you know, it becomes less and less common the more you read that you have to check words you haven't heard of, but 2 within 45 pages I feel like is quite a lot. But I'm glad. It's always nice to learn new words, although I don't know how much I actually remember them. Anyway, I always think I should write them down and have a little notebook of new words, but I never start doing it. So yeah, really enjoying it. Some beautiful descriptions of the air and the coast and the beach, and just really atmospheric writing. So really glad I picked this up. So my plan is to read a little bit more of that, but it is quite a slow read because it's obviously, like I said, quite wordy. So I'd like to read the first short story in this collection before I go to bed. The first short story is about 30 pages, so I'd like to manage that, so we shall see. This has a really ugly cover, but it sounds amazing. I've heard really good things about it. And then I'd like to read the first essay in Know Your Place. I've wanted to read this since I got it, which is, I can tell you, the 21st of April, because I have a little post-it note in there on the day I bought it. So that's a bit embarrassing, so should have read it by now. I have a really interesting, not interesting, because I don't mean it's interesting to others, what I mean is, like, I find my relationship with class quite complex, and I'm never really sure where I stand, because I would view myself as working class in the fact that my parents both had working class jobs, and then my parents divorced when I was very young, and I've since lived in rented accommodation or council houses, and my parents, my mum has sort of, you know, struggled with money, and I was the first person ever in the history of both sides of my family to go to university, but then I did go to university and I now work at a university, so those two things would make it appear that I'm not working class. So anyway, I find the boundaries between classes really interesting in England, and I'm intrigued to see how each person in these essays handles it, because each of the essays is written by a different person who views themselves as working class. So yeah, that is what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'll check in again before I go to bed. I don't know if we're going to watch the film. I'm not sure. I'm going to go check with Johnny. And see. The film we're thinking about watching is Hereditary, which looks terrifying, although I've heard it's not as scary as the trailer makes it look, so we shall see. Morning. So it's about 10:30. We accidentally slept through 3 alarms. When I say we, Johnny slept through them because my phone was on charge on his side of the bed, and I have no recollection of them going off. Johnny does, because he turned them off. So anyway, he's now making me a cup of tea and a bagel for breakfast. And trying to wake myself up, because I always find that when I sleep for too long I feel more tired and sort of like physically achy afterwards, and I think it's just because my body's been, you know, in the same position for just too long. So 8 hours is the good level for me. Anything past 8 hours is too much, so I think I probably had about 9.5 hours sleep there. Not good. So anyway, my plan is to have my breakfast, probably will mooch on the sofa for a little bit, then I'm going to go slap something on this, and then my mum, so I'm quite fortunate, I live in Norwich and there's loads of local crafters markets, like they're very regularly done, they're called makers markets, and there's loads of people in Norwich who make really amazing cool stuff, like, you know, prints, t-shirts, really cool jewellery, but what my mum is into and what I'm into is cool plant pots, and there's a lady called Stone and Rope, and she makes concrete planters, and then she makes macrame hangers, so I'll stick some photos here maybe, and I have one by her, and my mum loves it and she hasn't got any, so she's told me how much she wants to spend, and she sent me out to hunt this girl's stuff down. She doesn't have a shop, but there's a event on today at a local cafe where she's just taken her stuff, so you can go browse for the day, and my mum can't come because she's actually flying abroad today for a week's holiday in Corfu. So yeah, I'm going to pop there and do that, and then probably Johnny and I, we think we're going to go out for lunch. We're not sure. We think there's a vegan restaurant that's been open for a few months, like literally super close to us. We're very, very lucky, and we've been there once and it was really nice, but they also have a Sunday roast and we haven't been, and I love a roast and it's a bit cooler, so I think that could be amazing, so we might go do that. And then my plan is, I bought myself a bubble bar in Lush yesterday to have a really nice relaxing bath just before my friends get here. They come about 7:30, and we're going out for drinks. I'm a bit gutted that we're going out for drinks when it's a bank holiday weekend, because it just means that Norwich will be heaving, but what can you do? So yeah, that's the plan. I read a few of the essays from Know Your Place last night. Didn't think they were very good. They weren't bad, they were just okay, which was a shame. So I'm hoping the rest of the collection is better, but seeing as I've read 3 now and all of them are on par, I'm dubious. So yeah, we shall see. So anyway, I'll check in with you later, probably quite a lot later, because I probably won't get much reading done for the next few hours because, like I said, various bits and bobs to be doing. So yeah, I'm going to actually try and wake myself up now with a cup of tea and some YouTube. Okay, so update. It's about 5:30, I think. I actually don't know. I think it's past 5 o'clock anyway. And day didn't go quite as planned, so read and lounged on the sofa for a bit. Then we headed out, hopefully to get a vegan roast, but our local vegan restaurant that I mentioned earlier had an electrical failure, so we're closed for the day. And then we drove rather naively to a few other places, and obviously everywhere was just rammed and fully booked with it being a Sunday on a bank holiday weekend. So we came home, had a late lunch, just like sandwich stuff, and I watched the last episode of Unforgotten, which is really good. I actually think the 3rd season was the best out of the 3. Like, it's not stellar TV, but in terms of like British TV dramas, I quite enjoy it, so I'd recommend. And then what have I done since then? Tried to play a little bit of a video game. I can't remember what it's called. I'll write it along here. Very, very pretty, but you just run along and jump, like nothing actually happened. Gave up on that quite quickly, and then sat and read The Electric Michelangelo, and then realised that I meant to have a nice relaxing bath and now have no time, so I just shoved a sausage casserole in the oven, and both of us have realised we've made a bit of an error effectively. Like, we really fancied loads and loads of vegetables, so this dinner is like, it's like a packet mix, so I can't make my own casserole mix. I'm using Linda McCartney sausages, and then it's got peppers, onions, mushrooms, butter beans, all in like one of those bag mixes, and then just loads of broccoli because we love steamed broccoli. But we've realised we probably should have had a big lunch, and then, which was what we intended when we went out, and then a small dinner, because now I haven't got time for a bath, having to jump in the shower really quickly while this stuff cooks, and then have to scoff it down, and then like I always feel a bit flustered when people come around, like I feel like I need to really tidy. Johnny and I are tidy, but we're not particularly clean, so like we never dust. We live in a new build, so like you don't need to dust as much as you do if you live in a Victorian house. But yeah, being really lazy. I'm loving the fact that it's super windy and rainy outside, like it has been for hours on end, which hasn't happened in months. Not loving the fact that that's happening on an evening when I have friends coming around who want to go out, so we'll see how that goes. Usually when my friends come around and we intend to go out, we end up just spending hours playing drinking games where we put 90s music playlists on YouTube, and then the first person to guess the year the song came out makes someone else in the group drink. That is probably what's going to happen, but we shall see. So anyway, I've been reading this, I'm absolutely in love with it. We've just got to the bit where he's got involved with tattooing. It's 1920, I think, yeah. And having just got another tattoo a few weeks ago, I've never really considered the history of tattooing and how gruesome and unsanitary it must have been a lot of years ago. You know, this was like really specially wrapped up, and I put creams on it and made sure like nothing really touched it for a while, and washed it with antibacterial wash. And they're just like, yeah, just like let it scab over and fall off. So not quite so nice, but this is glorious. I keep stopping and making Johnny listen to bits and he doesn't care, but I feel like you guys will. So I have a really long bit I want to read to you that you know, if you hear this and think this is wonderful, please go read Sarah Hall, because this is what all of her writing is like. It's so atmospheric. She makes all of the elements and all landscape feel alive and quite sort of scary. If you don't like this, and this is what all of her writing is like, very long sentences, very wordy. So this is about the quicksand on the beaches in Morecambe Bay, and how people can be lost in the quicksand. That every so often a child from Morecambe would actually wander out on the beach at low tide, where they should not go, perhaps collecting shells or rock pooling, perhaps under the spell of the brewing fog that rolled in from time to time, and they would step through a patch of live sand and not step out again, and they would struggle because it is human nature to fight for life when it is being taken, and nobody would hear the screams and come to help, even though it had been promised. Only the cold, disdainful Irish Sea would hear the calls and come up to investigate, that fickle arm of the Atlantic Ocean which had in part set up the trap. In it would rush and smooth over the strange, lumpy, depressed portion of beach with the wet scuffed tracks and the trenched handprints, smoothing it over like grass, as if complicit in the murder, as if further employed in a conspiracy to get rid of the evidence. And the child would join the company of a few others inside the tightest, sludgiest, densest of bellies. And crack like an egg the child would go, and thick wet sand would seep into his mouth and ears, setting him in the last position his limbs could move into. And out would come the search parties and the guides and the police when little Charlie didn't come home at tea time. A scarf would eventually be found, or a glove, a shoe, a fishing net, too light to be a decent meal for the hungry sand, and so it was left above ground, moved around by the sea, and brought up to the piers by the police sergeant to be recognised by a now hysterical mother. Then the game in the school playground would start up again in earnest, and the shrieks of panicking children would echo over to Charlie Jessop's house on Royal Street, where his mother would be looking at a photograph of her son, whom the wretched Morecambe Quicksand had made eternally 7 years old. Glorious. I've read that like 5 times now. Like, usually you read a beautiful segment and you're like, a few sentences, like maximum 3 sentences are beautiful. That's a whole freaking page. And like, there's loads of like bit previous to that where she first starts discussing the sand, but it was beautiful, and then loads after that. It's just a stunning book, so loving it. And I said to Johnny, I haven't felt this way about a book in a long time, where I've not only enjoyed it but been in awe of the writer, and I feel like that's what I've really been missing, so thank you, Sarah Hall, for giving that to me. Now I have to freaking run and get in the shower. I just always feel like when I'm going out in the evening, I like to like shower right before, so I'm all like fresh and revitalised and can like put on fresh makeup and do my hair and stuff. Do my hair, I never do my hair, just pull it back and fresh. I should have just showered this morning and then I wouldn't have to be having this mad panic now. But the error is made. No, that's the situation. Also, this is how pathetic I am. So I have loads of sweets, like I showed you guys yesterday. I also just bought some candy kittens in the fizzy peach flavour, and I have them all in little tasty bowls, and I've hidden them because I don't want to share them, and I'm selfish like that because I just feel like I've got like 4 people coming round. 6 people can get free sweets super quickly, but those sweets could last me for days and I don't want to share them. I'm usually a very kind sharer. I draw the line with sweets, especially vegan sweets, because I have to hunt them down a bit more. They're not as easy to source, and therefore I don't want to share them with non-vegans because they can have any sweets and they don't need to have my tasty ones. So I think I'm really showing myself how childish I am. So before I say any more, I'm gonna go get ready, and I probably won't chat to you guys now until tomorrow because people are coming around, dinner to eat, probably hoovering to do. I'm hoping when I speak to you tomorrow that I'm not hungover. Hi guys, so it's now about 2:30, 3 o'clock on Monday, and I'm not hungover, which is very good. We did get to bed quite late, about 3 o'clock, and we didn't eat the sausage casserole last night in the end, so I was worried we'd be quite hungover, but actually feel fine. I ate chips before bed, downed loads of water, just felt a bit tired this morning, so that was good. So I popped into the city, I had a couple of errands to run, and I went into this Makers Market. I don't know if I mentioned that yesterday. I'd ordered something for my mum I tried to buy yesterday and they didn't have, so they made it specially for her last night so I could go pick it up today, which was really nice of them. And then when I was in there, I got myself a vanilla chai whoopie pie to bring home from a vegan bakery. They're called Dearly Beloved. Their cakes are amazing. I'll link their Instagram. I don't know if they ship anywhere other than like the local area, but just in case, they're really, really good. And then I had a little browse of the other stuff and found a new illustrator who's not been there before, and her Instagram is Core Blimey, so I'm going to link that as well, because I've just had a little look, and she does have a shop where I think she ships worldwide. And she had 4 new t-shirts that were all Harry Potter themed, so I bought myself one. It was £18, and this is organic cotton, all ethically sourced. And also another thing I think is amazing, I'm a size 12 and this is extra small, this t-shirt size, so I find with a lot of independent designers they class a size 12 or 14 as large, which I think is just offensive and obnoxious, but actually they were like unisex sizes, so a size medium and large actually were medium and large in the way I would perceive medium and large, not like, you know, tiny sizes. So yeah, very pleased about that. So this is the one I've got. I'm going to kneel up so you can see this now. Oh, I hope this comes out okay. So it is all the magical creatures from Harry Potter I freaking love it. So these are all hand illustrated and then she prints them onto the t-shirts, and she does them in like black, pale pink and white. I wanted the white one, really loved it. And when I brought it home, it's a bit fluff already. When I brought it home, Johnny was really sad and jealous because he adores it and he wants one himself. So I feel a little bit bad, so I might have to order him one as well, although I don't know how he'll feel about us matching. So yeah, have a little look on the shop, because to be honest I could have bought one of each of her t-shirts, but I decided to limit myself to one, and mainly because I wasn't sure of the sizing. So now I know, then I can order more online because they are beautiful, and she was really nice as well, so happy about that. And then I bought myself some Cajun wedges from the market, came home, ate them with some olives and watched BookTube. Happy times. And now Johnny's gone out for afternoon tea and I am staying here, and I treated myself, and this is a final test, so you guys are my witness. I treated myself to the new issue of Womankind magazine, and it's because when I was waiting for my wedges to cook, I was looking on Instagram and I saw Womankind post that this issue had an article by Sarah Maitland and also a different one by Linda Cracknell, and both of those authors write beautifully about landscapes and feminism and fairy tales, and you know, I've read some of their work but want to read more. And so I thought this will probably be an amazing issue because it's the autumn issue. It's got an amazing cover and I really love the writers in there. Oh my god, this is amazing. This is why I freaking love this. Look at that. This artist is Jessica Rue. So there's barely any adverts in Womankind, which I really appreciate. And they just have pages like this where it's just like celebrating an artist, which you don't get in many magazines, I don't think. And this is what I buy a magazine for, really. And there's articles in here about Shetland, mythology, what lies beneath. I just freaking, yeah. So this is my final test, because I buy these magazines. I mean, this was £6, so it's not cheap, which I don't mind because it's supporting all these cool artists and writers. And then I don't read them. So yeah, I have a really bad problem with reading articles over books. So this is my final test, and if I don't read this, then I'm never allowed to buy a magazine again. Strict. So yeah, my plan is to now sit in this little armchair with my blanket because it's grey outside and I'm loving life, although it just got a little bit brighter, which I'm not happy about. Read my magazine, read The Electric Michelangelo, eat some sweets and love life. And then in a little bit, I'll probably have a cup of tea with my cake. And hopefully Johnny will bring me loads of cakes home that he didn't finish with his afternoon tea. I've sent him with a lunchbox. So yeah, I'll catch up with you guys in a bit when I've actually read something. Okay, so I have an update. I'm like, I'm so sad right now. I'm not sad, like, I'm childishly sad. Johnny just messaged me saying, so turns out the afternoon tea is Harry Potter themed, and I've been like, what the actual fuck are you talking about? Like, how am I not there? And he's just sent me a little photo, and it's a little chocolate cake, and it's got a like icing sorting hat on top of it. And they've told them that when you eat the sorting hat, inside it's got a little note that sorts you until your Hogwarts house, and he says there's Harry Potter music playing, and there's also a Hagrid themed cake, which he's going to send me a photo of in a little bit, and I just can't believe this is happening to me. And his sisters and his grandparents don't care at all about Harry Potter. Johnny obviously does. I do, and I'm not fucking there. Like, this sounds like the best thing I could possibly imagine, and I'm not there. So yeah, sad times. So I'm just hoping Johnny brings loads home or takes loads of photos, because I can't believe that I'm missing out on this experience. And I'll definitely have to, you know, get Johnny to get me some more info as to if they're doing them again, because I don't, like, his sister told me she'd booked this for Bank Holiday Monday, but I don't think she had any idea that it was Harry Potter themed, because I don't know, I feel like she wouldn't have wanted to go on a day when it was themed, because that wasn't the point in it. So yeah, sad times. I'm not at Harry Potter afternoon tea. What is life? Hey guys, so it's about 8 PM and I thought I would wrap this vlog up. I know the lighting's awful, but I'm way too lazy to move seats. I'm super tired, so I don't think I'm going to read much more, so I thought I would just wrap it up here. So, since I last spoke to you, I read quite a bit of Womankind magazine. The issue's really focused on Scotland, so it's got loads of articles about unicorns, tartan, articles about like royal history in Scotland, and what else? Lots of articles about like living on islands and like walking life and that sort of thing. And I read quite a lot of those articles, really enjoyed them. I thought the article on unicorns and the way we perceive unicorns now as these sort of sugary, glittery, sparkly, cute things, when actually, like, historically, all of the art we had that represented them showed them entirely differently, and they're actually quite intimidating, sort of stern creatures. And then, like, just after I'd read the article, I went on Instagram and saw someone post a picture of a unicorn cake, and it sort of made me feel a bit sad, which I think was the point of the article, about the fact that this majestic creature, obviously a make-believe one, has been reduced to a glittery, pink, fluffy creature, which is fine, but I just feel like the unicorn's being misrepresented. So yes, I really enjoyed that article, and then I really enjoyed the article about Shetland. It's just sort of made me well up a little bit. It was really nice. So yeah, I've read quite a lot of the articles, to be honest. The one thing I will say about the magazine is there's part of me that adores it. I feel like I really love the theme, like the people who come up with the focus of the magazine. I obviously share similar sort of interests to them, and 100% share similar artistic tastes to them. They always have phenomenal illustrators in the magazine, and that's one of my favourite bits, is finding those illustrators, because then I can just go on, usually they have an Etsy shop, and, you know, choose some of their art myself to have on my walls. But I will say, I do sometimes find that there's too many smaller articles. So I'm a person who enjoys, like, longer form articles, and there's a lot of smaller ones. So I've read most of the longer form ones, and even they are like 3 pages maximum. And then there's an awful lot of, like, 1-page articles, which just isn't something I enjoy as much. But obviously I am going to go back and read them. It's just my yeah, maybe that's bad. I think some people read a magazine from front to back. I don't do that. I'm very selective, but I will go back and read some of the other articles. So there's that. And then John did bring me the cakes home from the afternoon tea. They weren't very good, so yeah, nothing exciting to report there. We had the sausage casserole for dinner. It was super tasty. I did get rid of the sausages I cooked yesterday because they just had gone really soggy, and I don't think I should have put them in the bag with the juices, basically. But I just put some in the oven, and it was all really, really nice. So definitely going to do that again. And yeah, since dinner I've just been reading The Electric Michelangelo. I've been reading for the last, I don't know, hour or so. I just thinking about all the books I got out on Saturday and was choosing between, and how really I've not managed to read a lot. Obviously I've read Frank Gehlen and Luna Go to the Moon, and I've read Woman in Power, but they're both obviously short reads. And then I've got to page 155 in this one, which in the grand scheme of things isn't a lot, but it's just a really slow read. And I'm fine with that because I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, I'm sorry if that's not massively interesting for you guys. But I will say, so the first section I spoke to you guys about yesterday was about this main character from the age of sort of 7 to 13, and I definitely enjoyed that more than the chunk I just read, which is him from 13 to 30. It's about, there's nothing really spoilery so far about this book, in all honesty. Like, it is just, I don't even know if I'd say a character study of our main character, because I don't think it is. I think so far it's been a character study of the people closest to him, and that being his mother, and then this man who he becomes an apprentice to, who's a tattooist. And I really enjoyed the first chunk. Like I said, I just felt it captured Morecambe Bay and the time and childhood really, really well, and also, yeah, it just all felt really atmospheric. Whereas the section of him being a tattooist, it's quite depressing and quite grimy. I just felt it went on a little bit too long, in all honesty. I felt like there were certain chunks where you'd be told all about this guy he was apprenticed to, and how violent and sort of mentally unstable he was, and then you get to something where you thought it was a slight progression in the plot, and that would be like a page, and then you'd have 10 more pages telling you how violent and mentally unstable this guy was, but not even telling you about, like, new instances, just repeating the fact that he does this a lot. So yeah, I feel a little bit like perhaps an editor should have caught some of that and just said, you know, this is all very beautiful, but you've not moved the story forward at all in terms of plot or character development in the last 50 pages, so perhaps we don't need all that. So yeah, the bit I've just got to, something big has shifted, so I'm intrigued to see where the story goes from here. but I'm not going to read any more tonight because I'm just too tired and it's really wordy and a slow read. But yeah, really enjoying it, and I'd be interested to hear if any of you have read any other Sarah Hall books. I think this has a really different feel to The Wolf Border. I think The Wolf Border is a significantly easier read. Still very beautiful descriptions of landscape, but I think because it's set in contemporary times, she's obviously decided to go for a different tone. This does read almost in a Dickensian way, when I think about it. Yeah, it's quite Dickensian. You know, it's very long sentences, very detailed, very colourful characters. So I'm interested to see what her other one is like. What's the other one called that I haven't read? How to Paint a Dead Man, which is set across different time zones and different people. So yeah, in the future I'll definitely read that one. So my plan is now, I don't know, I was tempted to have a bath, but I think I'm just too tired to even, because I thought, oh, a nice bath might be relaxing and I'm quite sleepy, but I think I feel too tired to do that. I don't know, we shall see. What I might do is, because it's been cooler here and it's getting darker here in the evening, and I have a jumper on and it's amazing, I might just go look at my bookshelves. I do this all the time, and get myself excited about all my autumn reads. I have 6 historical fiction books that I'm really interested in. They're quite recent releases that I want to buy for myself. But I'm going to go make myself look at my bookshelves and see if I have any other historical fiction books that I've yet to read. And if I have, then I'm going to make myself like read one, buy one, read one, buy one, so that I don't just have a ridiculous amount like I do with every other type of book on my shelves. So yeah, that is what I'm going to do for the rest of the evening. Thank you very much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it, and as I said before, you know, sorry that this is all in my home. I'm just not comfortable with walking around with the camera, to be honest. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to chatting to you in another video soon.